Man, y'all know the face, y'all know the name. You tuned into the world's greatest podcast. No, I don't just say it because it sounds lit when I say it. No, I don't just say it because when I put it on the t-shirt, it's going to sell out trillions. I say it because it's actual factual. Y'all know y'all tuned into the world's greatest podcast, Talk Ain't Cheap Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Mr. It's a movie, Cleats Real Talk. I got a special guest with me. By now, y'all know I don't introduce people. I feel like I shortchange them when I try to do that. We got specialty candles here, immaculate candles, the immaculate vibe candles in the spot. You know what I'm saying? So we really vibing something different. But special guest, introduce yourself.
Yo. Ben Sylla, Baniame, Staten Island native, party connoisseur, FIFA connoisseur. Regular chill guy that you probably know because I'm fake mixy, but we in the house, man.
I love that.
Thank you for pulling up.
Nah, I love that. So what is a party connoisseur?
Man, party connoisseur is somebody that likes to be outside to their detriment. So like you know what I mean, you're supposed to be getting in studying, or you're supposed to be taking that extra shift at work, but you fuck it, man, we only live once. So let me get to this shit. Man,
we outside. Oh man, okay. I got a question. Does it have to be at your detriment though? Like, can you be outside and just love being outside without it actually being like, all right, yo, you bugging? Or it has, like, if you outside, it has to be like some outside shit for it to be outside.
No, I mean, listen, everything is okay in moderation, right? So, I mean, if you're going to work, you're going to school, you're taking care of your family, whatever you need to get done, and then you want to hit up something that's lit and outside, again, to socialize, to meet people, to just enjoy energy, that's okay. But when you start doing things too much and in abundance, and you like, fuck, bro, I'm up till like 7 a.m. and I'm tired, and I'm like, I didn't need to do that this weekend. I should have just relaxed a little bit. I've gone out every weekend for the last 6 weeks. Then that's when it's to your detriment, into that sense. And go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say, cause your story is special. Like, you've been outside for a long time too. It was funny cause you was like, yeah, you've been around the way. I'm like, do I really be outside like that? Yo, I feel like I've been chilling for a couple years now.
Now, let me tell you a funny story actually. So, Ojo and I, how we met was through Domino's Pizza out on Victory and Bay Street. Okay, and girls used to come into the Domino's. Hey, Cletus, white girls, Cletus, looking at me. Said, nah, I don't know this Cletus. I don't know who Cletus is. This might have happened like 4 or 5 times right there. And Ojo was like, oh, that's my man Cletus. Was it Core 4? That was yeah, man. So he used to come up to me, but I think you worked at the one on the other side of Staten Island, right?
I know, bro.
So
no
man was sending
way.
his girls. Oh, hey, y'all, we got Domino's. Not telling them which one, apparently, and they were just showing up to the spot, man. So that's how I first heard of Cletus, and then I just remember first time I met you was at my prom, but you're like a year older than us.
You went to Curtis?
I went to Curtis.
Damn.
See, like, I even had to say it, he just knew what's up. Like, yeah, oh damn.
Damn.
I see Cletus. I was like, oh shit. Oh, all right. So this is the famous Cletus, and then just seeing you around and just through different walks, I'm like, frat bros know you. My mans know you. People, like, you can say your name anywhere where you've been at. So let's say if you're in Staten Island, you say Cletus, they know you. Go to Buffalo. Oh yeah, Cletus, I know Cletus. He hang out with the African dudes, and he'd be outside and throwing the events and having it popping and rocking, no matter where I was.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh yeah. Shout out to your man. He's playing 2K. The new 2K just came out. Shout out to P5 players. A lot of people say they're not playing no Xbox. They only playing P5. So shout out to everybody outside the P5. Ladies, just stay out the way. It's going to be an interesting fall. So stay out the way. There's a lot of P5 talk going on right now. I think we might have to host our own 2K tournament, just out of respect.
Listen, if you had to buy one for yourself, it might be a cold winner. You have to buy one yourself. You see the Teflon bags coming out next week?
Oh, yeah, 23rd, right? Oh, the Teflon sales? Oh, no.
You ain't buy a 2K, you're not getting a bag.
No Teflons for you, sweetheart. You just got to sit there and play. Sit there and be humble. Sit there. Stay. No, what someone say to me? They say you got to play within your range. Play within your range. If you're not a shooter, don't be shooting threes. Play within your range.
Yeah, man. Go get the boards.
But nah, I ain't gonna lie. To build on your mastery of that conversation that you just stated, that's madness. I never knew that. So for those who don't know, like, yeah, I used to work at Domino's. Domino's to me to this day is probably like my favorite job.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun there.
Bro, the food I used to get to bring home to my, like, I don't think people understand, like, I loved working at fast food because my mom and them never had a cook when I worked. Like, I worked at Applebee's and then I went to Domino's.
Oh, that's love.
So she never, like, while I worked, she really never had to cook at all. Like, I had pizza, wings, cheesy bread, beer drinks in the car. Like, because you know when they do the return orders, they just take the barcode and whatever happens to the pizza.
So munch on that.
Man.
That's how me and Phil got cool. This is fun. Domino's like, I guess, the great connector. If y'all don't know Philip, man.
Oh, man. Shout out to my bro, man.
So how I met Phil, and I met Phil through Ojo. I mean, we went to high school together. We were around, but we wasn't really cool in high school. So Phil used to just come, yo, bro. Like when Ojo went up to Buffalo, I think, or he wasn't working that next summer. So whatever, Phil would still come around and come by and be like, yo, bro, I need that specialty pie that y'all made, and I need that for the low if you can hold it down.
Yo, Phil never will pay for nothing. If he can finesse it, he gonna finesse it. You gotta love it.
I alright, bro. So I'll just go make him a pie and just hold it down. So that's how me and Phil started getting cool. So, but yeah, back to the party connoisseur. So my dad used to go to work from like 10 a.m. and won't get home till like 5, 6, right? So what I would do is I would tell my pops, right, being a very Muslim, African, strict parent who didn't want you outside at all, that I was working from 6 to like midnight. So what I would actually do is wait for him to leave and then go into work at Domino's at 10 when they open. Mm-hmm. Work 10 to 5, 10 to 6. Them thinking I'm at work, fucking go out and do like a little shower in the bathroom and then
quick little whole bath
and go outside.
Word.
And then bring pizza on the way home. Yo, make sure you bring home pizza. Word. Just tell my man's Justin at the time, yo, just make me a chicken pie. Just throw it on the outside, and I'm gonna grab it on my way home.
Wow. Yeah. See, this is madness to me because there's a lot I don't know about you, and I'm actually really, really glad that we're having this conversation because, like you said, we kind of see each other as being around. Right. So the Domino's thing is crazy because, like I said, shout out to Ojo because Ojo's actually the first person to put me onto Domino's for real, and then I was working on the one on Richmond. Right. And
lucky bastard because they had all the tips and all the shit.
You got to think like it was more like. I was just around, like I'll say it. Yes, we were getting tipsy because we were going by the mall, right? And we would even get like some stuff like in between like Forest and like over there, like Westerly and stuff like that. But you gotta think we also have the harbor. And you know a majority of our calls were coming from like the harbor. So nobody was tipping for unless you look like me and knew how to talk the lingo. Yeah. So I be like, yo, my man, you can't throw a little dollar on there for your boy. And you right, my gang. I got you. Give me something. Let me go run see find something. Or like a shorty think you cute. I had one shorty one time tip me like $30 because it was on her baby daddy's card.
Oh, that's
She was like, oh, I want to tip you because you so cool, but I ain't got cash. Can I tip you on a card? I said, yeah, of course. Do what you do.
Whatever you.
I look back. It was $32. I was like, bro, that's the whole order. She's like, yeah, it's okay. He ain't gonna mind. I was like, oh, shit. This is how we coming. Maybe I might have to go upstairs real quick and send a text. I need to let my man. And shout out to my bro Lamont, who was at that time. He was a black brother. He was over the store. I could have sent the text like, yo, my car broke down. I'll go link up, but I wasn't even on that type of timing back then.
So, all right. I will ask you a real question. How many girls did you deliver to that you sent the text after, yo, this was your delivery man, but you know what I mean? What's up?
So that time was a funky time for me because I was working 2 jobs at that time. So I used to work at the JCC. As a special, I was a mentor, not a mentor. What was I? I was a camp counselor for the special need kids up at the camp. So I would do that from like 8 or 9 in the morning till about 5, and then after 5, I'll come 5 to night shift.
Yeah.
So I was like, my mom wasn't even really there for real, and I think at that time I had a shorty. So my shorty, me and my shorty at that time, actually that time was a lot going on. So like I was really like trying to lock in with my shorty, but she was feeling the type of way about a lot of stuff. Cause this is like, I think when I was working there, it was like my first semester in college back.
Oof, okay.
Yeah, so you know like.
That time was different.
Yeah, she's kind of mad, but she's happy I'm around. But at the same time, she don't want to see me. But at the same time, she know if you don't see me now, she's not going to see me.
And then you're working all the free time that you have. So on top of that.
And you got to understand, like, my grades were shitty, so I'm like, I lost my scholarship. So I was really locking in to get that bag. Like, It wasn't about being lit and being that nigga at that time. It was like, get that money. And then on top of that, I think at that time also, there was a lot of parties. It was like that summer, I think it was 2012, 2013, we worked over there.
Yeah, 12. I started 13, 14.
Yeah, so it was that summer. So it was a lot of like little backyard parties. So I used to pull up. Well, people don't know. I used to pull up to a lot of parties with my uniform.
Oh,
yeah.
The same thing. I had like an old picture of me with like a Domino's hat backwards, at some party in Rosebank. Like, you know, just chilling out. I'm here. I'm after work, trying to be outside. What's going on? And yeah, man, that's the party connoisseur, man.
I miss old Staten Island, bro.
Yo, because I have through the frat and then through college, I've met a lot of people that don't live in Staten Island. That's kind of who I spend all my time with. And the few people that I do know or hang out with in Staten Island still don't live here. You know, my boy Brandon in Atlanta, Ben to Phil, Jersey, Ojo, Jersey. You know, just a lot of my friends there or in the city. So it's like I don't really talk to anybody that's here on the island. So everybody's just doing their own thing. Those are here. So you see people randomly at a different spot. Like, yo, I come check with you. And you never really check with them. Or you be macking. Or you're on the island like, fuck, I'm bored. I don't want to go over the easy pass right now. I don't want to fucking...
Bro, I'm not going to Brooklyn or Jersey unless I have to, bro.
I'm
like, I be want to be in my vibe, bro. I be want to get, you know, if I want to drink whatever, link whatever, I want to be able to do it on my borough. I feel like everyone in Brooklyn lives a different life because they could do whatever they want in Brooklyn and then go straight to their crib or go link a shorty. Even Jersey's kind of like one of them like places that like everyone got a whip, so it's like it ain't nothing to go from one part of Jersey to the next. Yeah. But like I'm not trying to pay a $15 toll to just link with some shorties, bro.
It's not happening. If I leave the borough, it's for the entire day. I might not even come back this weekend because I'm not trying to go back and forth. Gas was like almost $5 at one point. You taking the toll, that's 15, 16. You sitting in traffic. You got to deal with X, Y, and Z. It's, bro, people don't know that.
And there ain't no parking in Brooklyn. And then you talking Queens talk. Once you get into Queens is a whole other bop. So now you really got to be like wanting to be in Queens. Because once you're in Queens, you're not leaving Queens for real. Everything's in Queens.
That's a fact.
So it's a lot going on, yeah. And then
I be
and you be in Dykeman, Lower East Side, you be all over, bro. Like you be with all the Dominicans, so you be like taka taka ta taka taka ta ta taka ta. Yeah, you be out there, so it's like
man, you getting me fucked up, man.
Yeah, you said Baniame.
Hey, Baniame.
See, yeah. So it's like for me, I'm like, and I feel like now at the point of my life, I've actually kind of outgrown it. Mm-hmm. And it's weird to say it because like when you say like prom, I didn't even know you knew me back then. I was there more because my little cousin Pride went to Curtis.
Oh, that's Pride's cousin?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Her and my sister were very close.
Who's your sister?
Mamu.
I gotta see her. I didn't know you was African.
From Mali, man. West Africa.
Wow. Shout out to my Malians. That's tough.
Yeah, man. Where do you think I was from?
Dominican.
Don't let my friends see
Panamanian. Panamanian.
Yeah, it's my little sister.
I definitely seen her before. That's crazy.
Curtis. Yeah, I got held back in the 4th grade. So
Word.
Actually, from there, was in the same grade. So we graduated Curtis in 2014.
So you African?
African.
Why did you join a Spanish fraternity?
So for me, it was more about. So when I went to school, it was only 2 orgs. Sigma was the other org, and LSU really, as far as like, other than the white orgs, Oneonta's a very small school.
Shout out to Oneonta. So before you go into org talk, let's talk Oneonta talk.
Yeah.
Oneonta has bare things, bruv.
Yo, chill.
Oneonta had bare things, bro. Cause I was supposed to go to Oneonta because they had a really good physical therapy program.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So for me at the time, it was a lot of schools, but in New York, it was Oneonta and Buffalo. Out of New York, it was Howard, Morehouse, and Columbia. But like, Columbia, you know, that was really it for me. And then there was like Morehouse, Howard, and then there was like a bunch of schools like DePaul and all them posse schools, and then like any Arcadia and a bunch of other random schools.
Right.
But like, I was like this close to going to Oneonta.
I wish you would have went, man. Would have changed my experience, man.
I don't know what that would have looked like. Was like one is bare Spanish girls there.
So I mean, honestly, if you look at the statistics of all the schools upstate, it like Spanish people go up there at a larger clip than African Africans. Like the percentage is weird. Like Oneonta, like out of all the minorities, maybe it was 15%, 20% of it just being minorities, and then like 12% of that would be Hispanic, Latino.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's like all the schools, like Albany's like that, New Paltz is like that. Like all the schools that I go to, like when I'm traveling for the frat, you just see the population, you see the difference right away. It's weird. And it'd be a lot of them that go upstate be from the Bronx. It'd be like Long Island and the Bronx.
That's a fact.
What the fuck?
It'd be, and you know what I've noticed too? It really will be, like you said, it's really like Long Island, Bronx, Queens.
Right.
And anybody from Brooklyn, it's like they don't really go to a lot of the major, bigger schools. They'll go to like a NCCC or ECC or like a community college or like a TC3
or a CUNY.
Yeah.
Or a CUNY. Say, fuck, I'm not. Well, maybe that's just the mentality of niggas from Brooklyn. Like, yeah, bro, I'm not going out there, bro. I'm staying right here. I got my joints here. I got whatever situation I got here. It's easier, so I'm just gonna commute back and forth.
Get a little bag. Everyone I talked to that had the opportunity to go to college and did it, they were like more like, yo, I'm gonna go to CUNY, do 2 years, do all my prerequisites, and then go up there. Never get to that point. They go up there.
Yeah, I know some people that did that, like Arlene.
Yeah, Arlene,
she
yeah.
did that. A few other people that you might not know from Oneonta, but I mean, that might be the smart way to go. You saving 15, 20 grand.
I feel like for me, I think the way I went was the best way for me.
Yeah.
Because one, I think if I would have stayed on Staten Island, I would have got caught up being on Staten Island.
Yeah, bro.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I really loved my girlfriend at that time. Like we was gonna have kids, like not like one, like right. 7. Like I was nah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was infatuated with her. We was bugging. That was my wife. Yeah, that was gonna be my wife.
No rubber off.
Why am I born in rubber? Why am I born? Nah, that was my wife, bro. Man, she gotta feel me. She gotta feel me every inch. What are you talking about? No, that was my whole, like, that was my everything. That was my everything. That was my, that was like legit my everything. So I felt like it would have, and at that time too, like working at Domino's and working at a couple of jobs, like I think we was making good money at that time at Domino's, bro.
Bro, I remember going to school with like racks.
In the box, just in the house with it.
Yes, just sitting at home like, yeah, I'm good, I'm straight.
Bro, I could tell you a funny story. I remember this man Ojo, bro. He got his paycheck. We all at my crib. We just all at the crib. We getting money, whatever. We happy about our Domino's check. This man buy a $700 phone in the crib. $700 phone. I'm looking at him like, bro, why are you buying a phone for $700? He's like, bro, the features that you know Ojo, you know the features and all the things that you can do, the quality of the camera, and I'm like, he's like, I'm gonna do this with it, I'm gonna do that with it, and I guess it wasn't. I don't think it was during his pledging process. It was like something happened.
If he was at Domino's, I don't know if it's before. This was when you guys were in Buffalo or
it was like we had to be in Buff. I know it's right when he transferred up to Buff, and I don't think he was pledging. It was like right around the time,
like 2016.
Yeah. It was like right around the time when he first got up there. We all moved together. That man lost his phone in like the first like month and a half. And I'm looking at this nigga like, bro, you could have just saved that 700. Like I saw him like legit drop the 700 in my house. I'm like, bro, you're bugging.
Damn.
You're bugging. That's why like at that point I knew I'm like, dude, these niggas be bugging. They not thinking, because I'm like, I am not dropping $700 on nothing that's not putting at least like $2,100 in my pocket. Right. Respectfully, I just can't operate like that. So it was.
That part about you has also fucking been transcended and been sought out. Like when people hear about you, like, yo, Cletus had to get shit together, had to pay for the housing, or had to pay for the school. He said, you know what, bro, I'm gonna just throw this party, bro, and I'm gonna figure it the fuck out. Like I've heard these things, man. So I mean, that's a kudos to you. But we've jumped around. So let's go back to the Staten Island thing.
Let's do it, bro. Wait, hold on real quick. This is talking cheap, bro. Like this is like the safest space for us, and I just want to make sure, like, I'll let you know before we jump anywhere. Like, bro, this is your podcast, bro. Experience. This is your experience. Wherever you want this to go, we can go. I'm not gonna guide it. I'm just gonna make sure that we ensure that this is a safe space for us. Because honestly, this is like an honor and a pleasure to actually have this conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because like, we don't really talk, and
we don't.
You know a lot, and I'm like, bro, how do you know these things? 'Cause I don't. It's like you know more about me than I know about you, and that's rare. That's very rare, bro. I feel like I know a lot about a lot of people. So for you to even like kind of just be able to say certain things, it's like, all right, I'm actually very much interested.
Right. I love that, man. Let's do it. All right, so let's get back to the fraternity thing. Yeah, it was just us, and it was LSU, right, and Sigma that was there. And I remember going into college like, what the fuck is, I know Stomp the Yard. That's all I know. And then LSU kind of like reached out to me to like hang out and go to events. And I remember like shying away. Like I'm not fucking doing that shit.
That man not Dominican. He said it. He said, boy, say, baby, what that mean? He said, I'm not trying to hear them both for 20 hours,
no
bro.
Way, but y'all the way we do.
Why am I doing a little 2-step and hop? Why am I doing that?
And the hop is crazy, man. My song was Millie rocking the bachata. I seen that video too, man.
Nah, that's a crazy time. We're gonna touch on that later. All right, so
it's them. It was the Sigmas, and shout out to my guys at Beta Beta Pi. But for them, I guess it didn't feel like a calling, or it didn't feel right at that time. I think a lot of me not smoking, not drinking, not doing certain things, you kind of like chill or bond with people through these experiences.
it's true.
So if I wasn't doing that, I wasn't maybe in the same spaces with them. And so it didn't feel natural. So it was like, okay. And then sure enough, I remember walking through campus. Anybody that was of any color, yo, where can I get a haircut out here, bro? My hair is back when I had hair. My hair is wolfing. It's been a month, 2 months. I just met some dude that I actually cut hair. My guy Danny Casado, and he actually lived in the crib with 2 other bros, Furman and Jahari, the same guys that were kind of like trying to recruit me. And I remember actually through music, right? I'm sitting in the living room, and I think we're talking about J. Cole's album, Born Sinner, and nothing was the same. And just bonding over music and just chilling, smoking hookah, because I learned hookah from the Arabic, the Palestinians, Dominican niggas was on the hookah shit. And and I just started fucking with them. Didn't have the grades, so I started like, all right, fuck it, bro. There's some things I can't really share, but we're able to like really meet and talk to other bros from whatever campus that's around. And
you start to basically network and brand yourself as someone who's like will be interested, be a part of it.
Yeah, and so from there, just it went from like, I wonder if he would be interested, like, yo, when you getting your grades together so you could fucking do this shit. And so I ended up not finishing school in Oneonta, transferring to CSI. I was like, yo, like, I want to do the frat. I don't know if I got to start it here in CSI. I can try to do that. Like, you let me know. And then Furman hit me back like a week later. Like, yo, we actually have a chapter that's New York City Metro. I'm going to plug you in with some of the bros there. And then, and
the rest
from
is
there,
history.
Yeah.
Was the experience different from like building the bond in Oneonta versus building the bond with New York City Metro? Was it like a completely different experience, or did you feel like it was like a seamless transition because of just the connection you had with that dude Furman?
So Furman and Jahari, lived with Jahari actually a year in Oneonta, and in living in the bros house, you met a lot of the bros coming in and out for whatever shows or events and stuff. And so the bros that I met in the city chapter, I had actually known through that. So that made that part seamless. The experience is different. CUNY is a commuter school compared to,
being upstate.
Being upstate, you're there on the campus. You're on the yard. You're with them every day. You're chilling with them at the school. Here, it's kind of like you gotta make time to really build that bond and that relationship with them. Exactly. So, but because I've been around so much, actually, the guys who became my line brothers, I was able to be that bridge. Yo, guys, I've been in interest for 2 years. I know what it looks like. I've seen how niggas get online. I'm going to just show y'all what we got to do to get right and how we build these relationships and network and connect. And the guys from, because Oneonta was the chapter, IYKYK chapter was dying at the time, actually helped build up that associate group, right? I was kind of like the ringleader, throwing the parties, getting money for us to be able to go online and doing X, Y, and Z. And those guys actually became my line brothers.
Wow.
So really everything just came like in 20, it was a perfect storm, like the biggest line in New York since like 2000.
What was it, like 11 of y'all or 8 of y'all?
So in New York State, my semester, there was 31 of us.
Whoa. Oh, the entire state?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about line
specifically. In the city is 6.
Okay.
Line 6, yeah.
Yeah, because anytime New York, y'all know like what they say, they always say like single letter do it better, or like all this other weird shit. Like it gets real funky when you start talking about like lines and chapters and anything over like, especially in the Northeast, anything over 8 is like, is that a really good process, or your boys is really great?
Yeah. No, we were 6, biggest for our semester. A couple other 5s, a couple of 3s. It was a good semester for us. We were like a really good class that came in. Yeah.
I got bare questions. So
go ahead, man.
What's your favorite road tripping memory? Because you've been to a lot of places, bro.
Yeah. So I used to go to Albany every weekend.
Jesus Christ.
Albany's a different.
How many kids you got at Albany, bro?
Hey, man. Hey, man.
Between because y'all and the Grooves are cousins, right? No. Isn't there like some kind of lineage between you guys and the Grooves?
There's some history between us. Depending on what chapter you're at, you know, it might be called cousin or not cousin, but it's love from them just because of the history. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I was gonna say, because in Albany there's a very huge Groove population. There's a very big LSU population too. So it's like, is there some kind of connection there because of that?
It's not that big over there. We're actually really cool with LUL out there.
Shout out to LUL,
yeah, man. But I wouldn't say with the Groove. That's really Buffalo. Sean has really done a good job of curating that. But it just depends. I'm cool with the Grooves that here in the city and stuff. So it just depends where you are exactly.
Okay. So favorite road trip in memory is Albany. That's what we gonna leave it just at Albany.
Probably New Paltz actually.
I never made my way to New Paltz.
Let me tell you about New Paltz, man.
I heard there's pressure.
So I think New Paltz is the perfect spot because it's like an hour away from the city, right? Mm-hmm. So anybody that wants to go away and like, I don't want to be too far, New Paltz and Albany is like the perfect location, right? So you have the bare things that are there, right? And then again, it's literally in between Albany and New Paltz. So you would have the people from Albany will come migrate down. People from the city, my friend goes to school here. Let's go up here. And there's this one bar in there called Murphy's. It actually closed down like last year, but that was the spot, man. And you just, oh my God, wall to wall, no matter where you were, it was just things, and it was a good time, man.
I feel like, and big up New Paltz. I felt like at that time in that era, I think it was just, I'm gonna just keep it real. I just felt like Buffalo just ran the city. I felt like the energy in Buffalo was like bar none. Like,
I would see this stuff, not to cut you off, but I would see the things. I was like, fuck, man. I wish that renting a car wasn't so difficult because I wanted to go, like, out of like New York State, Albany and Buffalo.
Yeah, definitely.
They held it. Like Syracuse was on a low at that time. Mm-hmm. But those two, I had a lot of fun in Albany though. Like a lot of fun.
I felt like Albany. So this is the thing. When we came to Albany, I felt like it was a movie because we'll come off like Trailgate. We'll come out for like a ASA.
I think I seen you guys at that.
Yeah. You know, we was bugging.
Yeah.
We was bugging.
Yo, one year I heard y'all were there, but I was online. But I was in Albany. I was like, fuck, man.
We was bugging.
I was coming to like, this shit is lit. I'm like, yeah.
No, we was bugging. I would say with Albany, what to me, this is my opinion on Albany. I feel like Albany is a good place to go to school if you want to have like a girlfriend and you want to be close to home.
Not at all.
I'm going to tell you why I say that. I'm going to tell you why I say that. Let me tell you why I say
your girlfriend's there with you?
I mean, so let me break it down. All right, let me break it down. So Albany is a place where if there's not a major event happening, it's dead.
Yes.
Buffalo is completely the opposite.
Albany, there's always things going on. Let me tell you, there's a scheme within Albany, and I've watched it happen with my eyes.
Talk to me.
You had the area called Quail, right?
Yes. So
Quail really was everybody lived off campus, and so everybody had houses, and they would do coros, right? Coros with the Spanish niggas or little pre-games, so everybody would go to. That was really what the vibe was.
So Quail was like kind of by like St. Rose, right? Like was that like downtown Albany, quote unquote?
Downtown by the K2 deli spot. That's Quail, that major block. Mm-hmm. So that's where everybody was really at. You see people walking around and be outside there. So there would always be, the frats and orgs would throw parties. The problem is they would get too packed. Right? So it would get lit, it would get turned up, people would get in there, it's a vibe, and then they would kick everybody out. It's too full. Then bring niggas in and charge them money. So that's the problem with Albany. Albany had a lot of things to do, but it was like you couldn't really sustain the party. Too many people. You're kicking people in and out. You can't really get in. So unless it was a major event, that's when you had a lot of fun. There was always stuff going on. But the coros and the pre-games were really the lit thing because you're with your friends. Y'all chilling. And that's where I made a lot of friends and stuff. And had my funs, man, through that experience, I would say.
So would you say, being that you are African, but you are in a Spanish fraternity,
right?
Would you say like there was a difference in how you would like turn up and have fun, like partying with the Spanish people versus like, you know, dealing with black people and going to the black parties? Or did you kind of do it all because of who you are and how you maneuver?
I mean, when I was DJing, I was putting everything on. So at that time, it was like before the Afrobeat really kicked up. So you would kind of put whatever was new there, like Skeleyu or the Skeleyu was a big thing.
Your number was big. Like to party tonight, like old burner, not the new burner, not the yay shit, like the old shit.
Yeah, Caro, like that.
Yeah. And then even if you go even further back, like
all Square,
all the old WizKid,
yeah,
like
man.
Tease Me and yeah. It was a good era.
I would play that. Azonto, all the fucking, because it's something you could like dance and do, and Shoki. So it was that era. So I would be pushing that, and then reggae was kind of fading out. Like Your Number, like that area of like reggae. So I would just be mixing. I'm like, yo, bro, I get niggas want to bachata and shit, but I'm trying to catch your wine thing. And then like, there's really only two people that throw parties in Oneonta. It was the Sigmas and LSU, and the LTAs at that time were throwing events too. At least my era, but yeah, like I was throwing the parties. It was like just literally me by myself and like my housemate, who just controlled everything. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna play what the fuck I want to hear, and people would dance to that. So at that time, it was like that. When I came back to the city, more Dykeman, it's more dembo, it's more bachata. Yeah.
Or what I got a Pizza Perry and stuff like that.
Oh, you gotta be too bad. Now more dembo and stuff. I know a good amount now because I've hang out like Al Alpha and Ozuna and those cats. So yeah.
So do you like the music, or you kind of like it is what it is?
Some of the music is cool. I'm good after like 30 minutes. I can dance bachata, so that's always a nice way to interact with the ladies and get in there. But yeah, after like an hour or hour and a half,
can't do that shit.
I'm cool.
I'm even like that with Afrobeats low key too.
Yo, I've been saying that Afrobeat is starting to sound redundant, and that's why I like this new energy of the Southern African, like
I'm a piano stuff.
I'm a piano. I went to Rema's concert last October last year, and then the dude has a song with forgot the name. I have to search through because I wrote it down specifically.
Songgasm.
No, it's not a song. It's actually a band. It's like two DJs that opened for him.
It wasn't. Oh, I know you're talking about. Major League DJs.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you're talking
about. They came on. That was the first time I heard I'm a piano type of techno, and I'm like, oh, this shit sound fire. And they were going on for 3 hours, and you just seeing the South African people. You don't see South African, Kenyans, Ethiopians. You don't really see them out like that. At least me. Like when I go to like an African party, it's West Africa really, right? They were outside,
and there's a different energy, and them girls are fire, thick as hell, and they party. Like I love my West Africans. I love my Nigerians. Y'all know I'm Nigerian. Y'all know how that go.
They be kind of bougie sometimes, man.
The South African girls, bro, they are just a doom. They come in looking at you, just bouncing. You like, oh, what that? You just bugging, and they just, yo, that joint is different, bro. And it's like, shout out to my sis DJ AQ. I was supposed to have on an event. Just we can't afford them, man. She talking about like I don't want to talk the numbers because I say the numbers, y'all look at me like y'all be a lot of DJs be like, what? Yo, she's expensive, but like, she's worth it. And man, I try my best to always be at her events whenever I have a chance, because like she what I also have noticed is like a lot of the South African music is now becoming like what we are hearing like in Midtown. It's becoming like popular black, I don't want to say like gay music as well, because it's like it's becoming what house was and electro and dance and all that other kind of music for everyone, all the countercultures that's not us.
Well, if you just pay attention, right? When did Afrobeat really take off?
For me, I would say in the US for real, like 2012, 2014.
And who was leading that? Who did it really? Who sparked it? Would you say?
I would say the most popular song was IOJ, because Your Number. But I would say it was like WizKid and Davido, without a doubt. And then,
but who paved the way for them?
Well, that conversation can go a lot of ways. It could be Flavor. I think Flavor has a huge part to be. Two-Face with African Queen.
Okay. African Queen.
I think
for me, if I have to give an answer to that,
would you say Willow?
It's P Square.
That's interesting. P Square had a so that era. So let's talk about that era. So that era, it was P Square, it was Bracket, it was Style Plus Crew with the Olufumio song. You obviously Flavor, like I said, because
Flavor,
a
for
shower
sure.
record, everyone thinks it was soca.
Bro, I had a show. I remember being my fucking Twitter name.
Ashawo.
Mali and Ashawo, man.
Wow.
Watch out for me. The Nigerian
Wow.
girls like, you don't want to be in Ashawo. So I think I want to, man.
Before toxic and terrorists and all them other buzzwords became really popping.
Yeah, it was a show.
Like be in a little shower. Corner boy.
Right. But P Square for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who signed P Square?
It wasn't Don Jazzy.
It was Akon.
Akon. I know Akon.
At one point had control of P Square or influenced them.
Well, if you want to be technical, wait, hold on. I like where you're going with this, but I was gonna say if you want to be technical, there was that era where like Wande Cole,
right,
D'banj,
right,
Nice with Gongo So,
Wande Cole, man,
Olu Maintain with Yahuzi.
Mm-hmm.
I think that era was because I feel like at that era it was like first when YouTube started coming out.
Yes,
I think YouTube was probably the biggest catalyst for African music to become global. I think with that happening, and then also that era also was a time when a lot of the European, like the black Africans in London was putting out a lot of music, and I would say it's a lot of like that Vibes Cartel Jamaican era as well. Mm-hmm. So when we because at that era it was interesting because it was like Ricky Blaze, Movado, Serrani, Vibes.
But that's what 06, 07.
But then I feel like low key Ashawo was the thing that bridged the gap.
But what year was Ashawo?
Ashawo was old. I think it was like 08. I think it was even a little earlier than that.
That's the same time as P Square.
And that was because at that
for me visually. P Square set the standard visually. How they looked in the videos and how they were choreographed and organized. For me, they set the standard, and I think that was pushed by Akon having this
all
is
that
how we
popular
do
success
shit
in America with nobody wanna see us together, but it don't matter. And then you got like Locked Up and
because he went and put Rick Ross on a track with them.
That's true too.
Like you know what I mean? Like he was doing things. I was like. Oh, okay, as an American, where am I gonna hear? I'm talking about like here in the States, people that aren't of the culture, who is hearing these things. Yeah, and that P Square is for me the one. But I mean, for me, they opened the door, and Akon also had a hand in Davido and Wizkid. I don't know if you know this. He had both signed them at some point. Davido said this when he was on Power 105, and then I remember because I was a huge Akon fan, and so I was just. There was a point where I was like, I wasn't getting no more music from him. Let me put the news, like, what is he doing? And you would just see him linked in to Wizkid. And this is like 2009, 2010, before his first album in 2011. Right. So I forgot where we were.
No. We talked. It's a good place to talk. Let's talk. Like, we could definitely talk the music because I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit as a music connoisseur and a historian of sorts as well. But I was gonna add also there was a time around Maven when it was like Don Jazzy, and that's when he had like I think it was I want to say Wande Cole's on there. I know D'banj was in that mix, because at that era Nice as well, Ice Prince. So Ole Cool, that was a big record at that time. So I felt like at that era, I think there was also a lot of, I think because the Caribbean. So this is how I break it down in my mind. I think African Queen by Two Face really set the precedence of African music and it being fire. Then from African Queen, there was a lot of stuff going on overseas, like in Europe and London. So this is like when I went to Nigeria. This is when I was hearing about like Craig David. I was hearing about so this is like just, but we were seeing a lot more black acts. Like I remember Scary Spice had a record called I'll Be There, Feel So Good, I'm Loving You. Like and then you got Khaleesi. So there was a lot of black alternative music starting to get a lot of attention in the international space. And then what I felt like was also happening was there was, like I said, with like YouTube, Facebook, social media, a lot of these African artists were getting their music out into the diaspora more. Right. And then at that point, that era was very heavily Caribbean. Very heavily Caribbean. Like I said, it was Ricky Bays, Marital Family, T.O.K., obviously Vibes, Elephant Man, Sean Paul. Popcorn started coming in like in the later year. Yeah. And so I think that era was what that was. And then you had Hold You coming, now became big. So I thought that, like, I really would think like we had Afrobeats already low-key established, but it just wasn't popularized enough. And then I think the Caribbeans had their era. And then when we had like Ashawo started playing in that mix, a lot of people were like, oh, this is a soca record. And it became like the biggest soca record without it even being soca. And I think after that that introduced a lot of people being like, yo, nah, this is Afro, this is African.
Right.
And then that's when we started hearing like a lot of like Gongo Soul and like P Square, like you said, Bracket.
That's fair.
So I think it was a culmination of a lot of different things. I think it was technology, but I also would say it was just the time for international music to make it say, because you got to think, even in America we was having a lot of like, that time was 50 Cent, Lil Wayne.
No, 50 Cent was
early 2000s.
Well, yeah,
like
but
2000, like 7, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I want to say a little earlier than that.
I mean, because you got to think it was Juveniles from the 99 to the 2000, Hot
okay.
Boys, and then at that time Jay-Z was still there, and then you got to think there was a time within that era where Jay-Z was
Wayne when his run went, like 05
to like 2010 to about 10. He had like a 3 to 5 year window. He was really great, but at the same time, that's when also you had to think about, like, that's when 50 Cent also had his run. Kanye,
I feel like 50 and Kanye's run is more closely aligned than, I think 50 is before the Wayne run. Kanye was kind of around, because Kanye, again, producing a lot of stuff. That first, when it all goes down, like that track was, I think, that's when his run started. But 50 Cent had already been out.
There, yeah.
Then.
50 Cent
was around
like 2004.
He was big before that, but just in New York, because you gotta understand, like 50 Cent really came popular through his mixtapes. And G Unit, like that was it. And from like going in between deals and stuff, and I forgot what his old name was, but 50 Cent wasn't always 50 Cent, but he was always big. And so I think if we're just talking about runs, 50 Cent was like right before Lil Wayne, because like that second album didn't do as well.
I think it was In the Club, and then once In the Club, because
that was the first album.
Yeah, it was In the Club. And then I think it was self-titled, or it was called This 50. And then the second one was the second one wasn't The Massacre.
I think it was.
I thought The Massacre was the third album.
Let me see right now. I'm looking it up right now.
Because the first one's Get Rich or Die Trying. Then the second one,
Get Rich or Die Trying. The second one's Massacre. So the first one is 03. Massacre is 05. And then Curtis
was like 07.
For me, that's really like the end of the run.
But at that time, you also had to think, that's when we had Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo.
Oh my God.
And Young Buck, and they had I Like the Way They Do It. I Like the Way You Do It. Man, that was and then you got to think they started introducing Olivia as well. So I don't feel like their run really ended. I thought, in my opinion, it was just a very competitive time in hip hop.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Because you got to think, at this point, Sean Carter never really fell off.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about that too. And we talk about, like, he was making big brand moves, and I think the business of hip hop started changing, so like they weren't really focusing solely on the music.
You had P Diddy with his clothes, G in it had their clothes and their shoe deal,
and the alcohol.
And Ciroc was a little bit later though. Yeah,
Ciroc was a little later.
50 Cent had like the vitamin water at that time,
but
Jay-Z had his
Armadale.
Clothing. Yeah,
he had Armadale. He had Rockaware.
So
it was a lot of stuff going on in that era. And then you got to think there was a lot of stuff happening in the South too. So that was like the snap and roll era. Then you got to think Soulja Boy came around the way too.
Soulja Boy,
you got to think Little John had his run.
Little John,
Bubba Sparks, Lil Flip.
Like going too fast through, because you say some names that I want to like. Little John run is underappreciated, man.
What he was able to do in that era. I think people like
the Yin Yang Twins, 3-6,
Lil Scrappy.
Oh my God!
I got money in the bank. Shorty, what you think? It was a great era because the South at that time, and you got to think we're really
Young
down.
Jock, you got Gucci Mane. Like Soul Survival was
Jeezy.
Like my fucking Soul Survival was my fucking.
And
but that whole album was crack, and you listening to that too at that same time. It was a golden era of music, and we're not even talking about Dipset. We're not talking about the Locks. You know, that kind of like carried over from like the 90s.
Ballin' was probably one of the biggest records of that decade. Of the decade.
We Fly High.
Come on.
No lie.
Come on. Yes, wait a minute. Boy, like you just had a beater. So that's why I'm like, I feel like that era was very competitive, and then I think Fat Joe would lean back. Remy Ma, when she came out around the way.
Yeah, what happened to New York, bro?
It got to the point that the competition got, like, I felt like the competition stopped and became really personal. Like, I felt like at the time the competition was put out in the music, but I think what happened was it became to a point that it just started becoming super personal, that it impacted the business and it impacted the growth of like hip hop, because now
why don't we hear more?
because one, it's not like I said. I feel like now it's going back to being more about the streets and less about the music. Okay. And everywhere else also is like. And also New York is very segmented now. Like back in the day, you had to go through like only a few channels to pop. So you had to be like the top of the food chain in your area. Now, like you don't even have to go through those areas. Now everyone thinks they're an A&R. Everyone has a little bag. Everyone is trying to push in their own direction rather than coming together and be like, all right, this is which is what we're going to dictate as hot. And I also would say that the radio has a lot to do with it too. I don't think they really push high quality hip hop out of New York.
When was the last time you listened to the radio?
I mean, I listen to the radio from time to time. Like if I don't,
Okay, when was the last time you went to the radio to get new music?
Oh, never. I don't remember. Funk Flex haven't dropped a bomb that I cared about listening to in like over 10 years.
So then I take the radio out the equation.
But you can't, because radio still does play a huge role in the dissemination of like culture, and radio helps amplify. So let's say like there's a song like Pop Smoke. Like I remember when Welcome to the Party like was starting to really bubble up in Buffalo, because that's another thing people don't talk about. The college scene really dictates how popular things get in New York.
A Boogie, I DJ'd when A Boogie was right, because again, go back to Albany. My niggas in Albany, Dominican niggas from the Bronx was like, you gotta listen to my nigga A Boogie with the hoodie. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that? And he was on YouTube doing a college tour. And I was like, oh, this nigga is nice. And it was from that population you heard Funk's playing him in the city right after that. So I get what you're saying, that might be the standard. But realistically today, like you can really pop off
anywhere
without the fucking radio playing. Is you got a phone, you got internet connection. Like, look at Russ, for instance.
But Russ is also, as much as he be talking shit about the industry, he also has a lot of bread, and he also comes from, low-key, the industry. As much as he be like, I'm not them, he understands the mechanics of how to navigate in the spaces, and he has enough relationships. Now, did he always get that? No. But also, you got to think about it this way. Russ is white. You know what I mean? As much as we love to play that, oh, it doesn't matter, it fucking matters. His demographic of who he tries to appeal to isn't us. So regardless of it, the people that's gonna pay for his music ain't paying for like my mixtape.
Right.
You know what I mean? He put out some shit. Even if it's like 10,000 people, them 10,000 people will spend $10. Let's say someone who's black puts out a tape, like that's not Wayne, or that's, let's say like a Wale dropped a project and say everybody who fucks with Wale gotta buy it. They're not paying for it, bro. And it's not because Wale not talented or that he don't put out great music. It's just I feel like the demographics are different, and there's Even outside of J. Cole, bro, and Kendrick, and those are the only two that can really still sell.
But J. Cole was doing that from the jump.
But you also understand, J. Cole's also Rock Nation.
Yeah, but I don't really see. I mean, Jay-Z hopped on a few songs, but I don't really see him put not the same way that Jay-Z supported Rihanna is not the same way he supported.
I mean, but I also would say J. Cole also took a little time when he developed his fan base. I will say that he has a very niche sound and fan base, and I would also say like a lot of his stuff with his contract, like his Dollar in a Dream concert and stuff like that, helped him to solidify his space in hip hop so that he could forever do whatever the fuck he wants. And I would say he's also kind of counterculture to hip hop. So for me, when I look at hip hop from their era, him, Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick, Big Sean, Wale, and I would even low-key include Wiz Khalifa. They were a specific kind of time in hip-hop that the internet started to be a thing. So I feel like
the blogs.
So they were able to develop a little fan base that allowed them to be able to sustain. Like even like Wale and Every Blue Moon, as much as he feels like he don't got no fucking fan base and he's always emotional about it, he actually does have a real fan base, and he still can do shows anytime, anyway, and still like he has records like No Hands Down, no matter where he go, it's still getting played. So it's stuff like that. Even, and then I would say even Ross is kind of in that space as well. I think he's a little before, but you know, Ross has that little time that he could be able to do that too, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like that's why they're able to do it. But outside of like that group,
you just said a good amount of people though.
But that's seven of probably the biggest artists of the last like decade, 2 decades. Outside of them, they're all older. Like think about it. Outside of J. Cole, Drake, Wale, Big Sean, Kendrick, Wiz Khalifa. And who am I missing? I'm missing somebody.
Rick Ross.
No. It's somebody else in that era.
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz kind of came, but you also got to think 2 Chainz also has a lot of relationships in the industry. He was down with DTP back in the day, and he also was part of Players Circle. Was it Paper? Oh yeah, Players Circle that had Paperback Boy.
Paperback Boy, yeah.
And, you know, and he also has a lot of Lil Wayne relationships as well. And then, you know what I'm saying? So you really look at it, it's really like a handful of people who are either of the industry, from the industry, that came up from the streets, that had industry affiliations because of the people they knew in the streets, or they came from machine, or they just have a huge bag with a lot of relationships because they were in the buildings. So imagine imagine me and you in a Def Jam building, and we just happen to be there for 2 years. We trying to build up a project. Eventually, you gonna start making friends in the space, and then eventually those people that are in that space become the niggas that's now running the labels. And then you already, while they were coming up, you was coming up. So you have,
but that's networking, dog.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, you don't.
Oh, so you're saying, I get what you're
saying.
Getting
into that space is what,
difficult. Yeah.
So once you're in those rooms, even if you're a fucking
even if
Russ,
you're in the role,
even if you're a Russ that be like, yo, fuck the industry, you got friends that know the machine enough to put you in positions. Now, am I saying that's how he's gotten on? No, but I'm saying like, I feel like his situation is very unique. I feel like as much as he talks about how like he's anti-industry and he's counter to that, I feel like his situation is very fucking unique because 1, he's white. 2, he has a platform. 3, he also, his demographic of people that he sells to is kind of like Logic. Does Logic need black niggas to really dictate culture for him? No. So Logic could be trash as fuck, and niggas gonna still say Logic is that nigga because Logic don't appeal to us. You know what I mean? He's still gonna do that. I mean, the only other artist,
the back for him, but somebody that I feel like popped onto the scene, right? I think somebody like A Boogie. I don't really think he built this shit on his own without being in that system and that in that network, and just kind of built shit on his own. Same thing with I feel like Pop Smoke.
So Pop Smoke was represented by Victor, but
okay, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was represented by Victor, but I would also say like, yeah, I mean, but that, I think even A Boogie, I feel like, I think we're not talking about this, but there is also a street component to music.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So like a lot of people will tell you, like, if you know, like Def Jam is really ran by Bloods, or certain labels are really ran by
gangs.
You know, so it's like there is those.
I mean, look at the guy that brought Drake and
Jay
together.
Prince.
Jay Prince. That guy is fucking.
Come on, Rap-A-Lot
running the world.
Shout out to Family Ties, man. If you know, you know. That's my. Nah, he really fuck with me. I know people. I'm really trying to say Jay Prince really fuck with me though. Like, I don't talk about him. He really fuck with me. He fucks with me heavy.
Man. Shout out to Jay.
Jay Prince. Shout out to Lil J. Shout out to everybody, man. We had them turned at Grambling. We showed them so much love. Them niggas was like, what the fuck?
That's love.
You have to. If you do your homework history, you know what it is.
All right. So wait, let's get like,
let's go.
Did we conversation and we just go right past it? Let's go back to the African thing. We were talking about, you know, the style of I'm piano right now.
Shout out to I'm a piano.
So for me, right, again, we talked about how did they get more popular in 2014. Can I Get Your Number? Who was jumping on that remix?
Oh, Chris Brown, I think, got on it. Yeah.
Chris Brown. And then who do you see the biggest player in Afro music that's from the States that jumps in on the most records that you fucking hear?
Would you say Drake?
I say Chris Brown. Got Your Number. He has a track with Davido. He was on the Rema last project. I think there was an African artist that was on his last album. I think he has a record with Ande Cole. Like, out of all the space, I see Chris Brown in that. If you really look at it, he got like the most features in the Afrobeat. Because aside from Wizkid, who has Drake really worked with in the Afrobeat? He works a lot heavy with Pop
and Thames. He has a record with Thames.
He has a record with Thames.
But Thames is low key underneath like that Wizkid umbrella, because I don't know if Wizkid is signed to make. I don't know what his label situation is right now, but I know that eventually, I know that he started off with like Maven and Don Jazzy and all of them. Right. And Don Jazzy has relationship with Kanye, which I don't think we spoke about enough as well. Because at that era, I remember Kanye and like Rock Nation was trying to sign like Tiwa Savage and a couple of African acts.
Thank God they did it, man.
I mean, I think they have like distribution deals with them. Okay. Because you know, have you had the chance to watch that History of Afrobeats documentary on Netflix?
I did not.
Yeah, so there's a...
Oh, shit. I gotta check that out. It's just called History of Afrobeats?
Just look up Afrobeats on Netflix. And yeah, there's a whole basically documentary of how Afrobeats was able to go from, you know, being in Africa and being a sound that was counterculture to what Africa was doing. So basically what... Just to give like a brief synopsis, basically what they were saying was that Afrobeat is... So there's Afrobeat with Fela Kuti, who we all know, love, and respect. And then what happened was with the traditional African music that was indigenous to us at that time. People were going to school overseas or going to different places and hearing hip hop and reggae and dancehall, and then they just started to fuse that with what we already knew as Afrobeat.
Davido coming over here, Atlanta sound influenced him a lot in how he brought that over.
Wasn't he in Houston? I thought he went to school in Houston. He went to school in Houston.
But I think when he went from there, he blew up in Atlanta. And that's when people in New York, DJ Envy, I think that's when he first heard him out there and brought that here, and that's how like he really popped in the States.
I can believe that. I would say also even way before like them, like it was just like they were saying like how like a lot of the students, because even I could kind of think of it now looking at my father's like trajectory and how he got to America. A lot at that time, you got to think up until like, so Nigeria got its independence in 1960. Up until that point, they were colonized by the British.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Queen.
Shout out to the Queen.
Don't bake. But no, we chill out. But so they were colonized by the British, and then right around that time, you gotta think a lot of the independences that was happening was as a result to the Civil War, but the Civil Rights movements that was happening in America, because Pan-Africanism started to become a big thing, and the whole concept that we are these one people, or black people's real homes are Africa, and that the only way that Africans and black people can get to the position that we need to is by identifying and creating a global or a diasporic unity, basically, right? Or an alliance, because at the end of the day, we're all of the same people.
Right.
So with that happening, what started happening with the civil rights movements was a lot of other uproars in a lot of other spaces, which then opened up the borders for like Africans and black students to come from all over the world to come study in America. So with that happened, you had a lot of the top brightest minds all over the world from Africa going to school in London, or going to school in Singapore, or going to school in the Caribbean, or going
Belgium,
to school,
other parts of Africa like Tunisia and Morocco, and yeah, you see it. I mean, out of even like if you look at America today, the highest performing group of college students
is Africans.
And heavily shout out to Nigerian and Ghanaians that are here. You know, more Malis in France and stuff. But definitely, you guys have shifted, taken us higher, and we should talk about the fucking difference between the African culture and the Black American culture that's here, and how like, you know, there's like when we were growing up, there was, you know, we joke about the African booty scratcher.
Oh yeah,
that
was
a real thing.
Niggas was not Jack, bro. I don't think people understand. Like, I did not know other people were African. Like, I don't think niggas understand. Like, when I was at 51, I didn't know Liberians existed.
Me either.
And a lot of them niggas was Liberian.
Yeah,
I did not know. Like you heard about OTA, right? But you really never really.
Shout out to my niggas in Park Hill, yeah.
You know what I mean? But you ain't
Liberian,
never. Yeah. My papa said my pinkies. But you really never really, like I said, like when I was like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but when I say I'm a lot of people's first Nigerian friend, I think niggas be thinking I'm joking, but I'm dead ass. Like at that era, nobody was jacking that they were Nigerian comfortably. Like comfortably, and if they were, they did not act like it. They would have other counter names for everyone to call them. So if their name was Chuku, they'll say like, my name is, I ain't gonna say like Charles, but they'll say like their name is some other shit.
But even me, right? My name is Baniame. My mom hates that I use Ben, because she's like, who the fuck is Ben? That's not your name. But I don't want to sit here and have to explain to people every time I met them how to say my name. 1, 2, just that conversation of like, you know, okay, where is this from? Where is this? Like, it was foreign. It was outside. And you got to understand, like, being African and being Muslim in this country, being a kid in 2001 when the World Trade Center went down, and you was in a very tough spot. So your identity was kind of, like, for me, the way that I took that was to kind of hide and shelter parts of who I am, because I didn't want to be judged up front, right? So then, again, coming from me growing up, like I wasn't like out like in the social group. Like I was just going to school and going home. I went to Albanian Muslim school as elementary school, so it took me some time to kind of touch into the culture. And then from there, you just looked at it as, oh, you're super different, rather than, oh, like you're different and you're cool. Like, what's up? Like, let me learn about you. It was like, oh, you're different, you're weird. Step to the side. And so that's my introduction to I would say, society here. That's when I met Charles. But even Charles, I didn't know he was African until niggas was making fun and being like, oh, he has an African name. Charles is not his real name. I'm just like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
And, you know, it's crazy that you say that because a lot of people would never know that. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I ain't never had no choice. My name is Cletus. Like, yeah. So it was like, yo, nigga, where you from, the South? I'm like, nah, I'm Nigerian. They're like, what? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, nigga, you African? I'm like, yeah. Nigga, you ain't African. I'm like, yeah, I am. Nigga, what kind of African? Niggas say, dude, what kind of African are you? Nigga, I just told you I'm Nigerian. Like, and then it became like, man, ooh, ooh. And but the thing with me, like, why people respect me is because I never backed down. Mm-hmm. And I never was one of them people that was afraid. I love being African. Like, you know what I mean? I love my mom. I love my dad. I love my situation.
I love my stew.
You know what I mean? I love my stew. Love my jollof rice. I love my energy. And at the end of the day, I wasn't a lame. Right. Like, I was never corny. Like, you could say whatever you want, but I was going to also let you know about yourself, too. Yeah. And when they started seeing that I wasn't no bitch-ass nigga, it was like, all right, we could fuck with him. Right. And then I also was the funny dude. And then I would also credit this to, like, Michael Blackson as well. At that era, like, started, like, on the latter sides of the 2000s, of the early 2010, like, the African booties, like, the African jokes was coming, and, you know, that was funny. I was always big in comedy, always loved to laugh. Right. And then also, I would say, like, I was just always wanting to have a good time. Like, I played ball. Right. Like, I was a real baller. Like, not like some, like, I really used to ball. Like, there's a lot of niggas that are great now, like Staten Island legends, that never beat me. Like, never beat me, like, ever. Up until, like, they got to high school, and then they joined all these, like, Curtis super teams and these other super teams. Like, they were not better than me, ever. Like, ever.
That's probably what a lot of us, I mean, that was me, too. I mean,
I was killing everybody.
The whole Curtis team I fucking was playing with in I-61 and shit, who kind of went over there. And shout out to my nigga Chalk. Chalk used to fucking...
Chalk is my brother,
Chalk
man.
used to kind of... That was like my competition at that time. He used to fucking dominate Pauls, but...
Shout out to Chalk. No, Chalk went to 51.
Yeah, I know. I played him when I was in 61. We played in like that middle school league and stuff, so...
You gotta think... you gotta think Chalk is younger than me. But before Chalk, bro, my era was like... It was like Toby, Jabari, and all of them.
Yeah, all the legends.
Like Dimitri, Michi, all of them. So like that was like, at 51. But when I got there, it was like me, Taheem, Tariq, Boy, like Danny Lowe, Stephen Eddie Hooray, Steven Seller. Like Kevin was on the team. Who else was on the team with us? Our team was really like great. Like I think we won the whole Staten Island championship and the whole city championship that year, and that we were the first team to win a championship at 51. Like, and then after that, like 51 legit changed. Like, it never been back to like the old 51 before. Like, I got in at 51 in 2000 when I went 2004, 5, 6 ish. But that was the time when there used to be rats at 51 and people used to get beat up. And when I got in there, bro, we started like I ain't gonna say that we changed the whole dynamic of it, but like my class was with the shits, but we was all on a different time. Like, we was on different timing. Like,
that's the legacy of Cletus, everybody that's listening. This man has always been the game changer.
Well, you wasn't trying to be on no bullshit, bro. Like, I felt like even all my friends who were really like hood niggas, like all of them, it was kind of like they understood. Like, even, it's funny enough, like I tell people all the time, like this story is about like stuff like I've taken like niggas from my football team that like I Wagner to church with me. Like, I've taken niggas from like, I used to pray for like my friends who were like the biggest like gangsters at that time, like big, like ran the harbor, ran all like that 240 all these shit. I don't think niggas understand like that was around my era. Like those niggas, a lot of them dudes that ran that are like they came, that was my brothers. Right. Like we played balls. You forget he played on the 51 team with like when I say that's these are like the people I grew up with. Like these are like legit like the lineage of they're born like extensions of family to me. Right. So it was just like it was a different era, and to be African at that time. Shout out to my bro Mustafa Yora that was in the spot. Ben Tucker from the Hill. Like you just like niggas. Like for me, like I said, I didn't know there was a lot of Africans. Like shout out to Kenny Godwin who's older than me. Right. Toby. You know I didn't know niggas was really African.
Abraham.
Yeah.
My guy over there.
AB. I didn't know a lot of niggas was African, but I was like the unadulterated, happy as hell African. Yeah. And also I would say I gotta credit it to people like Don't Jealous Me, like Tolulo Pe from on YouTube and a lot of these other people that was mad funny.
Yo, them Nigerian boys.
Yeah, them Nigerian boys. Yeah.
That like those guys. So like again, that's the same cosign with the music at the same time. And that goes back to like me talking about Chris Brown and even Drake, and those guys kind of help pushing the music forward. But now you see them following and trying to jump on the wave. And now we're seeing that going back to MP Piano, right? And then you see the kind of shift in hip hop kind of following in Drake. And well, actually, I first saw it to Majid Jordan.
Yeah.
When they came out with that album, I mean, they've always kind of been in that range of music.
They're from Toronto, right?
Yeah, they're from Toronto as well. I think they're actually from the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what country, but they migrated to Toronto, Canada, and then signed to OVO from there. And them doing that. And then if you listen to The Weeknd's last album, heavily influenced by that as well. Then Drake kind of doing this, and then Beyonce switching the sound. But at the same time, Europe is... It's like weird. It's like for the first time ever, Americans, at least from what I see in America, we're opening our eyes to what the fuck is going on outside of the world. And it's so interesting and dope to see, right? It was like, if you're not from here, of this culture, you're whack, right? But I'm listening to Central C, right? Before this shit popped off. Like I have I threw in our chat, all of the London or the British tracks that I know. I mean, those are the guys who are kind of more hip to Afrobeat, and so that's where all these Afrobeat artists live and come out of, and that are pushing the music because they're in such a unique spot that they have people all over the place, while we're all the way to the West. And so I think the first time that Americans are looking like, oh shit is dope over here too. Like their drill is kind of cool. Oh wait, they listen to Caribbean music out like this Jamaicans in London?
Bro, I don't think people really understand. So I think this is another reason why I kind of, like I said, I got to big up YouTube, social media, all that. Because at that time, like you said, them Niger Boys and all of them, like Black Jesus, all them artists on YouTube. Shout out to even my bro, Kofi Black. At that time, he was coming up with some records I was really fucking with from the island, and he was African. But to kind of speak on like London, I think, yes, what you're saying is right, because I felt like at that time in that era, skank music was huge. So like you had like obviously like
garage music was huge.
So there was a lot of stuff happening in the Caribbean, not in the Caribbean, but in Europe, because also you got to think a lot of the people who live in London really aren't white
at all.
They're
African, Nigerian, they're
Arabic,
Indian,
a lot of Indian, a lot of Sudanese, a lot of Arabs,
because British fucking ran the world,
and they sold everything. And a lot of the people who really got money in London and in Britain don't really live in London. And London, low key, I had to tell people because I just went to London for Nana Hill Carnival. I said London is one giant ends, bro. Like if you're really in London, like it feels like one giant ends. Like when you get out of the airport and you get on the tube, they don't call it the train, they call it the tube. You get on the tube and you just look, bro, you are really like, it's a giant ends. Either if you're in South London, West London, East, it feels like you're in a giant hood, and it feels like a giant colony where all the workers basically live. So when you look at that and you think of that kind of way of thinking, and then you look around, then you realize like everyone here, like they all kind of on the same type of time, because everyone there be just grinding, and they live there, they party there, and they navigate there. So it's like all the people who be grinding, working that don't got money, but they're trying to get it. They're not really white. They're all the immigrants. Yeah. They're all the people from all over the place that have been in London for a long time. And what I've learned, especially being out there, is like you said, like black culture there isn't like black culture here. Like dominant culture there is still colored music. Right. But it's not colored in the sense of like black Americans super influence it. It's like all the Africans from Nigeria, like it's an hour flight to go to London. Like it's like right there. Everybody going from like east, like Johannesburg or like Morocco. It's like an hour flight, 2 hour flight.
You can take a boat from Morocco to Spain. That's how a lot of them escape. Like how Cubans come to the States to go to Miami, and how you see how that is influenced.
Them folks going to Ibiza. Them folks is in Ibiza.
Yeah, I want to go spend some time out there. I'm a huge soccer fan. Arsenal till I die. I don't care what team you support. You're probably a Chelsea fan. I don't. You know what's crazy? You don't watch soccer.
I'm not. I never really got into it,
That's
bro.
Fine, man.
I'm low key. I'm not gonna say I'm Americanized. I really don't think I am.
Let me tell you. Next time you're in London, you know when your next trip is.
See, all right. Let me give you my issue with London, bro. I love London. I love the people. I love the energy. It's just very similar to the U.S. It's just everything flipped. Like they
Right.
drive on the other side of the road, and like the accent's a little different. But it's very like. But I think you to go to London, you're gonna drop like 700, 800. So it's like if I'm going to London, I gotta really kind of have a reason to go now. Before it was like I just want to go to London, and it feels like I leave New York, I'm going to another New York. I'm just going to a British version of New York.
Right. But there's culturally differences. I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying next time you're there, go to a football match.
Like a Manchester game.
You can go to Arsenal. Best atmosphere in England is Liverpool. Go to Liverpool, man, and your whole mindset would change about sports. But then when you're there, hop on a train. Have you been to Paris?
I haven't been to. So that was the thing. Like when I went to
2-hour train ride.
Man,
from
it's
London.
even less. It's even, bro. You could get
€60.
Even less. It's even less, bro. Folks is like, bro, it was crazy. Like I wanted to do all of that, but when I went for a real specific reason. Like I went for Notting Hill Carnival,
right?
And I also it was dead. It was expensive, bro. You gotta think about once you leave the U.S. and you get to like even like Ireland. Ireland does the Great British Great British Pound. So obviously your money stretches more because the Great British Pound is like for the first time like ever in the history of currency like way lesser than the dollar. The dollar is stronger than the Great British Pound
and so greater than the euro right now. I think
the euro's fucking us up.
No, the U.S. is I think for the first time like 21 years where dollar's over the euro.
Nah, the euro's fucking us up, bro. I'm telling you. I when I went to London, wait.
How long ago was you there?
I was just there for Notting Hill Carnival. Is it everything I was paying over there was in euros? Yeah, now the euro's fucking us up. Because the pound is weaker than ours. But the euro is still like $1 to 80 cents.
It's even actually right now.
Man.
It's like literally dollar for dollar right now.
And look at a Great British Pound, so GBP. Because depending on which one it is, I think I was paying for pounds when I was out there. I think everything I was paying for was in pounds. I be forgetting.
$1 is 88 pounds.
Yeah, so it's pounds. Because I was spending like
88 cents. I mean,
so let me see. Yeah, so $1 is 88 pounds. So you gotta think for every dollar I spend over there is 88 pounds.
That means ours is higher. Oh no, it's lower.
So I mean for $1 is 88 cents pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
So you gotta think I'm spending like $10, $14, like $8 is like $12. 8 pounds is like $12. Okay. $13. And then you also gotta say if everything when you get to London you pay by credit card. So to get on the train, off the train, on the tube. You gotta pay by credit card. To get on the bus, credit card. So they don't even really take cash. They low-key a cashless society already.
That's fire.
So you gotta think it's fire, but it's not because you gotta think every time I use my credit card from Bank of America or from Chase, the motherfuckers are doing a transaction fee on top of that, and they're also converting the money.
Well, you gotta get the traveler's card.
Yeah.
So you're not dealing with that.
Yeah, but if you just going, you ain't thinking like that. You know what I mean? So it's like for me, it was like
that's the problem.
Yeah, I wasn't even prepared.
That's the shit that we gotta start doing. Is having the conversations with the people that are making these trips, because then somebody would have put you on. If you would have put that in the chat, yo, bro, make sure you get the right card before you go. Like Sean and them just went to Colombia. It was the same thing, and I was there earlier in the year before, and I was able to, hey, this is how you move around out there, and this is what you got to do, and it's the same thing. That's the shit that we got to do, bro, because we got to fucking know how to stress our money and know how to like maneuver, especially as we're traveling now, and again, going out there more. You just got to understand how shit works, or just do your homeworks, do your due diligence.
I mean, I would say this also. I think it comes to community too. I don't feel like there's a lot of people that I know in my spaces that are on the shit I'm on.
As you start moving on and doing bigger things, you're going to start meeting people that are doing that. The people that are here, right? And again, I guess this conversation we were having before we, off mic, was kind of talking about, what we're talking about,
just growth,
trying to growth and try to continue on. And then we were talking about isolation, quote unquote. But the difference is, right, when you move into these new spaces, you're gonna start meeting people that's like-minded, so what I've been trying to do in the last 2 years is do the things that I love and I enjoy doing, so that way in result, like I'm feeling more fulfilled at the end of my days. And so one of the things I love is soccer, football. And so when I leave the people around me who don't really see that, right, it might feel lonely, but I jump into these places where, all right, now I'm in these FIFA tournaments that are around. meeting even people that are my bros or like people that I'm meeting online in these chats who enjoy Arsenal like me. So now I'm planning to go October 1st to like a pub in the city and actually watch a game around people that I didn't even know existed. Right. And then they're telling me, hey, like, if you want to go to London, we're doing this trip at the end of the year. We're going to watch a game. We're going to stay here. And this is the right way to do it and stuff. So, like, yeah, like maybe the community you come from might not know about it. Right. But when you get to these places, you're going to find you're going to be surprised by how many people that might have stubbed their toe on the same rock that you're passing right now and that can give you game. Right, especially somebody like you that's super personable and makes super connections. It's not going to be hard for you to be able to pick up and learn that. And then you can bring that information back to us. Yo, when you're doing X, Y, and Z, this is how you got to fucking do it.
I was gonna ask. So, what are some of these tools that you use to find these people? Like, where do you go to find like-minded people, and where do you go to network?
Instagram, Reddit, Twitter. They like. The way the algorithms work, right? And I don't know how familiar you are with the algorithms and the AI systems building. I was just listening to a podcast with Joe Rogan and Mark Zuckerberg and how they really designed the interface of Facebook products, right? Meta products, which is Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, right? The things that you like, the things that you share, the things that you comment on and like, they all have a different array on how you how they categorize how you like something, right? So I think the most thing is if you save it, you click the save button. And the next thing is what you share. Next thing is what you comment on and what you double tap on. If you notice on your explore page would tell you who the fuck you are, right? Depending if you're just liking shit that you like. So if I go to mine, right, you got
bad bitches, sports.
Oh my god.
A lot of cakes.
You got stop it.
Dancers.
But you see that. But you got Arsenal here, the team that I just spoke about. You have Star Wars here, which I'm a huge fan of. F1, which I'm really into a lot. You see that popping up, a lot of soccer things. If you speak about what you see, Marvel Studios. Let me see your thing. You talking about me and the gal damn.
Man, mine is bad.
You think you a munch? You a munch?
Bro. Yo, I got it's bare
things, man.
Bare gal white. Yeah, it's just ting. It's bare things in basketball. Bare things in basketball.
Right. So these are the things that you spend your time looking at when you're here. Whether people are sending it to you, whether you're sorting these things out. These are the same things that I kind of talk about and enjoy. Of course, you got a few gal them that are in there, depending on the day that I'm on that you'll see. But you'll see really what I like and what I enjoy, right?
Nah, mine's is bare things and basketball. So
when you start looking at the Arsenal stuff and you start seeing the similar people that are liking it or commenting on it, it's like if you can just go follow that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a huge Burna Boy fan. Nigga, even just going to the concert.
And boxing low key. But yeah, mine's is bare things and basketball. Yeah, this is not good. I need to get a new algorithm. And hip hop. Yeah, it's bare things, basketball, hip hop. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Instagram shadow banned the hell out of me. Like they don't let me do nothing. Like nothing. Like I'm losing followers. People don't see my stuff. Like my story views are low. Like Instagram been on some bullshit.
Do you know how your story views go up?
How?
So it's all algorithm. So if I noticed that if I just post, what did I put on my story recently? Actually, let's see. I simply just put a meme, right? This African shit how we be, and if you look at the numbers here, it's 40 right now, and I posted an hour ago. My mom passed her citizenship exam like a month ago.
Congrats.
Thank you. What'd you do right now? You say congratulations. What did people do at that time?
Say congratulations.
In that first 20, 30 minutes, they're saying congratulations and liking it. What that does is tell the people around you or that follow you, that have the mutual followers, oh, this is something interesting to people that might want to see. This is literally how Mark Zuckerberg explained it. Oh, shit, people are commenting on this? Okay, we're going to push that to the front of people's stories. Right? Who do you notice at the front of your stories? Not the people that just recently posted on the story. It's the people that you interact with that's in your DM group chat. I'm sure you see Adam that pops up all the time. maybe Phil, because he's a thought or whatever.
Oh shit!
Nah, I fuck with you. I love you, Phil.
Nah, I don't really see a lot of Phil stuff, but he definitely pops
up. But the people that you interact with the most on social media is the people that you probably see the most that pop up, just by nature, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the more you have engagement on your stories, the more that people have a reason to click on it quicker. That's how your story numbers is gonna go up. That's how your like goes up. That's how your exposure pops up. So if I post something that invokes thought right now, right? Like these are people I'm in the group chat with, or people that like that's in my close friends, right? Those are people that are popping up. Like his birthday today, I just wish him a happy birthday. He don't normally pop up with the front, but because I mentioned that earlier, they're like, you might want to see that.
Yeah, I'm about to turn up on the social media thing again because I was about to delete my whole. I actually was about to sell my whole Instagram.
I mean, that's your bread and butter. But again, you have to trick the algorithm. Somebody, I know a girl that she's trying to like be a content creator and stuff, and she literally says, hey, can you just comment on this? Fuck a like. Can you share it to your friends? Fuck a like. Because it's not about what you're liking, it's about how can this show up more and more in front of people. Yeah, that's really what the game is.
See, we could really keep going because this is deep. Because I was actually talking blockchain with some people, like, and I'm probably gonna pivot off of Instagram soon anyway, and I'm gonna start going to like Web3. Just so because I want to be able to own my content and actually have real direct like interactions with people. Like I feel like if I'm gonna stay on these platforms and they're gonna manipulate, viewership, content, all this stuff, I'm not trying to deal with this no more. Because I'm not getting it to that point. And honestly, I'll be real with you. I don't really talk to a lot of people like I used to. So like even the 7,000 and change people that follow me, I know all of them, if not more than most of them. Like I know at least like 93, 4, 6% of them. But I also at a time had like 800 more followers, and then my page got hacked, and I lost 800 followers overnight. So it's like there's a lot of weird shit going on.
But why don't you just do both?
I am, but it's like I'm got to pivot. Low key, I'm already in a space where I'm actually trying to pivot off of like get off the grid anyway.
Off the grid, okay.
Because I'm in a place where like I tell like now more than ever, the best things in my life I don't even post. Like niggas really don't know like how great my life is offline because it's like I don't post about it. Right. Like folks don't know we're doing this. Right. But this is stuff I do.
You had to tell me you had a podcast. You had to tell, we're in a group chat where.
But I posted my podcast before. I guess this is not consistent.
While, yeah. I'm not consistent so it's enough. Like, okay. Like, even just people I know that have podcasts, but they're not posted. Like, today when you told me about it, I had to go back and do my research. I'm like, oh, this nigga is. I mean, I've seen you post a few things. I'm like, oh, this guy is actually, he's working. Never known you not to work, but to go and see it. And so, so people really only know what you show them, but in reality, what you show them is not. Like what you see on social media is not what everything is going through, right? You just learned fucking 10 new things about me, but you've seen me around for the last 7-8 years. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I guess I mean, is there anything else we really gotta hit on? Like what are you listening to right now? What is your favorite record right now that you're listening to?
Let is go. Well, I'm honestly like a R&B head. That's what I love to listen to. What am I listening to right now? I
actually got some records I want you to take a listen to. I got an artist I have 2 artists that I'm working with.
Let's do that, man. Let's do this. I'm trying to find something new that I like. Rory.
VORY or
no RRY.
You talking about the white boy?
Yeah. He
Organic Oranges or Emotional Oranges?
He manages Emotional Oranges, but he's actually putting together an album right now. So he's released a few singles. There's one that's called Not Me. I really fuck with that.
Yeah, we gonna have to listen to this off air, definitely.
And then Burna Boy's album has been.
Did you listen to Asake's new album?
Not yet. That's like on my list. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get to music, but that's definitely on my list.
Asake's album goes crazy. Yeah. I still think Rayma's album is my favorite album thus far that came out this year.
Who?
Rayma.
Really?
I like that album a lot because a lot of them records was very good. Aroma Baby. Who else? Spinall had a really good album this year too.
Spinall had a good album.
Burna's obviously was good. But yeah, I like Rayma's. That was one of my favorite albums this year.
Omale has a good.
Oh yeah. And he has that Kulosa record that's like killing everyone right now.
Whoa.
Biggest record, like one of the biggest records of the year. Who else did I like? Show Them Camp. They had like that song Tropicana, and they had Do Me Right as well that I liked a lot.
Do Me Right is good. Akande Gold, bro.
Adequately Go.
Adequately Go. Sorry.
Yeah, he's dope. I listen to his music, but I feel like he gets kind of caught up in the shuffle of all the other artists because it's just a lot of Afro.
He stands out though.
He's an R&B singer. He's like a real R&B African R&B singer.
Yeah, he stands out. I think the art is there. Generally, I think overall just well spoken, well written music, presents itself well. I think doesn't get enough praise. And so he's somebody that I would keep an eye on. I think he's one of him and Rima is the two that I'm looking forward to see what they do in the next few years.
Wow. And Asake's run is looking crazy too. Every record he put out has been like a hit.
It's a hit, yeah.
Who else? What am I listening to right now? I could tell you. Right now it's been a real turn because I'm actually supposed to be dropping a project in on October 1st, like my own personal musical project.
Make sure you fucking share that, man.
I'm going, you know what I mean? I think that's my problem. I've been in a space where it's just like, yo, please keep
share that with the people that
appreciate
you want to share your energy with.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be to the world and whatever. Just, build that up. One of my chapter brothers, and people don't really know this guy runs a battle rap podcast that has like 500,000 followers and listeners. And like nobody in our chapter knows it. Like only like 3 people know it. He's like, yo, I just promote it to the people that I love, but the brand is growing. And he was literally telling me like, this thing pays the same as what my salary pays now. But I just enjoy doing it. And so that's really what it's about. Enjoying what you do, but then also sharing it with the people that you love and you enjoy doing. But this is fun. I've definitely wanted to do podcasts and jump into space. I enjoy shit like this. So maybe I gotta come, just come fuck with you, sit on the couch with you whenever you running something, man.
Nah, I'm definitely. I want to get to a point. Actually, funny enough, and we can talk about this offline. But I'm in the process of building more programming. So when I say programming, it's like Talk Ain't Cheap is a podcast, yes, but it's also a network.
Yeah.
So the goal is definitely to start bringing in more programming onto the platform to build it up, and then we talk like equity and all that stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna be like Joe Budden, and be like, y'all niggas don't deserve shit. But
I love the JBP podcast.
I think they're dope. It's kind of interesting to me because they became like the premier podcast, like they really like call him the pod father, and I'm like, do I really feel that way? And I don't know if I do.
In the black space,
I don't know if I do.
As far as just podcasts,
I would say now yes, but I would say like I came up off of like Taxstone, you know what I mean? So it's like if Taxstone didn't get knocked, I don't know if this conversation would be the same. Same thing with Combat Jack. Obviously JBP been doing it for a long time.
But people make the space for things, but some people are just the pinnacle. I mean, listen.
That's true. That's very true.
People, you got like people like Rakim, Biggie Smalls, even Nas in a way kind of paved the way, but you're not knocking anything Jay-Z did.
That's
I'm
true.
not pulling Jay-Z down because people did greatness before him, right? So I think it's the same thing. I think in the black space, I mean, you have to give a huge hand, I think, to Charlamagne.
Without a doubt.
And what he's created, but I think Joe Budden
is definitely there too.
Yeah, he's an interesting bro. I want better for him because I just feel like there's be certain shit that I notice with him. It's like things fall off, and like sometimes it's hard to defend some of the things he does. But like I think at the core, he's generally just trying to make the space a better place. He just goes about it a little funky sometimes, but I've been following that podcast since like 2018, so I just want more success for it, and I hope for Rory and Maul too and what they do. Funny enough, my fave, right, my SOU fave, her boyfriend is the DJ and producer of the Rory and Maul podcast.
Who's her boyfriend? You're not talking about the dancing nigga?
Nah, Eden.
Oh, Eden. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the brother, the nigga that's videographer. He's close with my bro John, who's part of On the Radar with Gabe and all of them. So that's another thing, bro. We know everybody that we needed. We know the connections, so we gotta lock in. Because I ain't gonna lie, you could tell me either on air or off air, but I think we got the world greatest podcast right here. Personally speaking,
hey man, I'm fucking with it, man.
Am I lying?
I got brought the candles, son.
Come on,
yo, let everybody know right now. I just seen him driving, and I literally just like hit him in our. So we're in a music chat, diversity chat, which we didn't talk about none of that, because this is some shit that I want to really get into. Because I don't know how much time you got.
I'm not rushing you. We just at an hour 30. I just want to let you know if you got the time. Let's get it going.
I got the stamina, bro.
We here. This is a workout. That's what I like to do.
I'm here. I'm good until like 4 or 5.
Okay,
really.
cool.
Unless you want to take a pause and then get up. All right, cool. So, yeah, I saw you. I was like, we in a music chat. And I hit Cletus up, and I'm like, yo, bro, like, what's up? Because my thing is, I've always, and like, the attention to me is like, I'm gonna hit him up, but I always don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm almost disturbing people by just reaching out, and like, oh man, I'm trying to like hang out with you. Because then I feel like, if we don't talk on a regular basis or we don't hang out already, I feel like I'm almost intruding. It's a bad habit I need to get out of. But yeah, so when I saw you, like, yo, let me just hit the chat. And then you were like, come fuck with you. And I had half a mind to kind of be like, maybe I'll hit him or not. But when you called me, I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's link up, 100%. But yes, music chat, couple verses question I had for you.
So,
if there was a versus, Wizkid versus Davido, who wins?
Wizkid, undeniably. I love Davido. He has a lot of big records, but I feel like the artistry hasn't evolved. Wizkid, smoking them, without a doubt. Wizkid just has so many big records, bro, and even his filler records are big records. And I feel like the quality of the songs are better. I feel like Davido is a wedding artist. Every artist, every song that he has is like great for weddings and like and parties and stuff. But I feel like Wizkid just got like his catalog is just different.
It depends on the crowd.
I'm saying Wizkid.
I'm saying Wizkid, but it depends on who's voting. Because if you hear on a pop American culture,
if I tell you, say I see.
It's good. I've ran it.
But what's smoking Essence? What's smoking Olo Jekba? Like he has.
No, but again, it's about the crowd. If you go and just straight niggas that know, I'm going Wizkid.
I love Davido. I love his girlfriend. Skella Woo's a big record. He has a lot. I think he has a lot of like individually great big records. So if we're like top 30, I could see where it could be debatable. But in my mind, listening to like the artistry, the music, the impact, I'm going Wizkid without a doubt.
Yeah.
Now, if we were saying Burna Boy versus Davido, I think that could be a better conversation.
I think if you give it 5 years, it will not be.
That's gonna be some
shit.
shit.
Burna Boy is gonna smoke everybody. This man since 2017. That's the thing that gets me tight too.
Three records, 3 albums back to back that all have heat, and he should have won Grammys for each of them.
Oh my god, don't get me into that fucking shit because I don't know. Is Grammy, does it stand for just American music?
No, because they have international acts.
They have an international section.
Yeah.
But why aren't? Oh yeah, because then you can you got Ed Sheeran or that can win. That shit gets like Made in Lagos. Album of the fucking year, and
that's why he got the next one because they know that they snubbed him.
Album of the year.
He got the one next year because they know they snubbed him.
So fucking fire.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big I ain't gonna say I'm like the biggest Burna Boy fan because this is my gripe with music.
I love Burna Boy, bro.
I have a gripe with music, especially Afro beats. I was one of them people that was like really like I don't think people really understand. Like I was like the only African nigga that was really African around. Like it was like me, my nigga Tayo, Tobena, Teniola, and there was a couple other.
Toy Bena, how's he doing, bro?
Who?
Toy Bena?
Oh, Tobena, he's fine. He's good. He's some pretty boy now. But you gotta say, I knew that nigga before that was even a thing. Like we never saw that correlate ever happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta think it's them and then anybody who went to the STEP program. So all the Africans at the STEP, like we were like the only Africans that I knew were African that actually people would say like they're African. And even a lot of them that was in that program that was around the way wasn't Jack and they was African. So like for me, I really was like in an island alone by myself. Like I might have not gotten bullied by other black kids because some of the black kids in those spaces were real key African.
We're real key Africans.
But it was like
so
ain't nobody ever said it. Like I really had a conversation all the time. I'll be saying all the time. If you see a Nigerian emoji in somebody's bio, they just became a Nigerian like 3 years ago. A gangster, that's how I feel. Like if you have to see someone put a Nigerian flag in their bio, I feel like they low key were Nigerian. Like they just became Nigerian because like that was never like
it wasn't cool to jack that. It wasn't cool to jack.
So if it was one of them things like niggas, if you know, you know, but niggas already knew like, oh, Cletus, he African.
Yeah.
So it was like that's what it is for me.
It wasn't too, again, the music, the culture caught up with us, and then 2013, 2014. It was fire to be African.
And all the girls started liking Africans. They're like, get you an African. Not everybody African.
Hey, man, my son Lionel. I don't know if you know Lionel.
Of course I know Lionel. He
Get
went to
yourself in
Wagner.
Africa.
Yeah.
He went to Oneonta, so that's how I met him.
Oh wow,
and
I
shit.
didn't know that. Yeah, Lionel went to Wagner, bro. You got to think when he came in, the everything was paved.
Yeah,
it was paved for anybody. If you was African, or played ball, or just was cool on the football. Man, listen, the groundwork was there. Like,
Right.
and I'm not even gonna take all the credit because there was a lot of Africans that came before me, but I felt like at that time, like it wasn't popular, and I felt like we kind of made it cool.
right.
And I also would say, like, obviously technology and the time started to help with it. But at that time, bro, I'm telling you, nobody was jacking that shit. Nobody, bro.
At all.
At all.
Shout out to Lionel. Shout out to Prince. My guys. But yeah, I'm picking Wizkid. I don't know if I picked Burna Boy to win today, but I think with another album, I think he beats Davido. You think today he beats it?
I think got hits. Out of those 3 albums, I could name like 10 that could really fuck a lot of shit up.
All right, let's go through it. Let's take this time to kind of look.
You really want to go through it? You go through it. Let's go through it.
Cause I'm trying to just think. I mean,
so you look up Davido, I'll go through Burna.
Oh fuck you.
I'll go through Davido because I do know a good amount of Davido records. Yeah.
Cause I'm going on the low. Damn, fuck. You might
fall if Way Too Fly wasn't a big enough risky.
Way too fly.
Way Too Fly. Shorty,
What's the shit with Meek Mill?
Oh, I remember when the money come around. Yeah.
That's a banger.
I ain't gonna lie.
He got some.
Davido got bare features.
Yeah. Can we pause? I'm getting a phone call.
Are you gonna phone? Yeah, we can pause. I mean, we can wrap this up. We don't gotta talk too much. We can always do a part 2, bro. Cause
hello. My fault about that.
Nah, you good. So I was gonna say I feel like Davido has a lot of features, so maybe it could get crazy. I don't know. I never really sat and really thought about it. I said really good. In my head, I'm still going Wizkid just go off of his own records and the kind of features he has with the people he has it with. So I'm gonna go Wizkid. You got another versus question, or you?
This is one that's been in our chat and has been very tumultuous. I'm sure it's been on Twitter. It's been everywhere. But are you taking Usher or Chris Brown? And this is a 20-song versus.
I feel like Usher got that nostalgia factor. I think that's really what it is. But I feel like Chris Brown got a lot of. I think he got like more than like 40 bangers. Like
who's a better singer? If it's live music, that plays a heavy role.
Usher live, I think, is way better singer
than Chris Brown live.
Yeah, but I think performance wise, Chris Brown is definitely there. But I'm definitely that nigga. But I think Usher's not too far behind. I would say
he was like the next Michael before Chris Brown.
And when Chris Brown came through, he smoked that.
Yeah, 100%.
So I would say I think in a 20-song versus, it's gonna be tight, but I might have to give the edge low key to Usher just because of the nostalgia, the nostalgia factor. But that doesn't discredit the fact that it could really be Chris Brown either. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying based off the nostalgia factor. But I feel like when Chris Brown drop a record like Poppin', or like excuse me Miss, or like
hey, none of that is beating
Confessions, the whole album.
Confessions, the whole album. You don't have to call.
It's that nostalgia.
Like
up.
Lovers and Friends. You're not.
Up, yeah.
I'm a huge Usher stan.
It's some nostalgia. I don't think those records are really that much better than a lot of stuff that Chris Brown put out. I just think it's that nostalgia factor. Like you could listen to.
But you gotta like in 2004 when Confessions came out. Confessions Part 2, and he's in that fucking Mercedes, fucking pulling up, drop top. There was a different like energy in the air. I was 9 and I felt that energy. Same thing with 8701. Like it's just like Chris Brown, like his early stuff got bangers and he got good records. You can say like on the far as musically it might be better and there's definitely hits there, but I felt like
the timelessness of those records.
Yeah, bro. I can listen to You Don't Have to Call today and it just feel I'ma be alright.
It's gonna be a tight one. I'm like I said. I'm only going. In my opinion, it's the nostalgia factor is in Usher's favor, but it will be close. I don't think let's say let's say Usher drop a Love and Friends and then like Chris Brown drops like a Take You Down or 2012 or like you know what I mean. Like there's certain records like you go like damn. And then you gotta think, you want that love it. Like Kiss was a big record. Now, like I said, it's gonna really come down to their lineup, their placements.
The lineup and their placements for sure.
And then like just like, are we going for who has the biggest records or the most impactful? Because the impact wise, I think Usher got him.
This is I be getting mad with Sean. Sean be fucking moving the goalpost, and I sound like you making excuses.
I'm not making
now.
no excuses. I just think like it's kind of like what you said. It depends on what the audience is looking for.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's not
that's
like
true.
it's like there's so much factors because these artists are both very similar but very different, and they're even you got to think about the time in which they came out with their music.
Right, yeah.
So you got to think. Imagine if Michael Jackson came out now. If Michael Jackson came out now, he'd probably be more like Chris Brown, putting out so many records because Michael Jackson recorded hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of records that never came out.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now you're allowed to put out like a fucking 40-song album because, you know, that's just the way that things are. Because there's so much music out there, you have to be able to demand a presence.
Right.
So it's like I feel like it's a little different because also at that time you had to wait for an album. So Usher is taking like extra year, 2 years to put out a body of work versus like Chris Brown, who like to stay relevant has to put out records every other year. So I just feel like it's just different. It's just like, yo, it's gonna come down to the list. It's gonna come down to the placements of the records, and it's also gonna come down to like
performance.
Yeah, and what the standard is gonna be. Are we only going straight their records, or are we going features? Because if you talk feature talk,
add features.
Chris Brown is smoking that nigga off the feature talk.
It's 20 songs though.
That's what I'm saying. And I feel like they would have to up, and I feel like they would have to up it because they both got more than 20 hits.
It's not fair because Usher can't play one of his records, man. That's a banger.
Why? Cause R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But that's just one song.
You know what I mean?
I've run that 3 times.
And you got Usher coming out every time?
I got Usher. It was Usher twice, Chris Brown once.
Okay.
Different crowd. But it was close. Literally 11-9 each time.
All right.
It was literally very close.
So let's say, what would you say of a Jay and Lil Wayne situation?
Who would win, or just the verses itself?
The verses, who would win? Yeah.
I think Jay-Z.
Shit, I don't know about that one.
I think Jay-Z wins, and I think Lil Wayne heads will say Wayne, our generation, and then older cats or Jay-Z heads are gonna say Jay-Z, without a doubt. Bro.
I feel like
think commercially, Jay-Z has been more successful.
Yeah. I feel like their verses would be a very specific verses. It'd be like actual verses.
It depends where you take it. It depends how you do. Because if you're just gonna go, we're just gonna do our fucking bars or just go verses. Like we're just gonna go best our verse versus a verse. Like you can, Lil Wayne can compete. But if I'm putting, like, Hove, like Lil Wayne's not beating that, bro.
I don't know. That a Millie. And then you gotta start saying like just like nightmares.
99 Problems, bro. Like change clothes.
I think that God did just really like shook a lot of shit up for me personally.
Oh my God, that verse was sensational. 5 minutes of just straight heat. I'm still dissecting it. That's what I was saying. I think you were trying to get on a podcast or get on live and talk about it. I was like, bro, I gotta like take this shit in.
I mean, cause when I heard it, I don't know. Also, my mind works a little different. So like, I ain't gonna say I'm like a super nerd, but I feel like I'm a super nerd low key. And the way my mind works, it is a lot faster than I think like a lot of average people. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I just really think that's like I listen to things like at 1.5, 1.7. Like I can't.
Really? Oh yeah, shit. I'd be like, who the fuck they make this shit for? Cause I need it on like 0.75. The way
I need it because I can't sit there the whole time. Like I hear it. Like I conceptualize and understand things really fast. So it's like, you know, my mind's a little weird. So when
I'm listening to music on the first go around, it's the music.
Yeah. No, music I listen to on the regular. I'm talking about like YouTube videos and all that. Like YouTube interviews. Okay. Now music I listen to like normal. Okay. Normal speed. Hell no. Right. If I saw listen, it's gonna sound like Jersey Club.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z takes that. I think Jay-Z commercially has just more success and like think more things that can ring off in a club. I think Lil Wayne has more tracks that like we can rap bar to bar the entire shit.
Who has better verses, like actual verses, like bars, like actual like this is a stanza versus that stanza.
It depends, because Lil Wayne's just gonna give you more punchlines and more fire shit to caption and put in. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen the world stop like it did when Real G's Moving Silent Like Lasagna came out. Like this, I've never seen that ever in my life. But Jay-Z, like you go back 5 years, and you go back and you listen to what Jay said, it's like, oh, I didn't even catch this bar and how he looped it and said it in this way, and that it's not even a double entendre, it's a quadruple entendre, and that he kept the shit like he's doing a countdown through the verse. You know what I mean? Like same thing like you listen to like K Dot. There's some shit you listen from him like, oh, what the fuck is he on?
Is there anybody that can compete with Drake in the verses?
I think Kanye West can. Especially if you put down what he's producing, right? I think you can compete with that. Listen, I'm a Drake stan.
Who would win
in
a
Drake
Drake
versus Jay-Z?
Who's winning in a Drake versus Kanye? Just music. I don't think we could do production.
Just music or production too?
Nah, you can't because Drake's not a producer.
So that makes
Ye
better, doesn't it?
No. If you're saying, I feel like Ye would have to also have his own separate production verses. As a producer, yes, there's a verses that he would have to do just off of beats and production that he's done. But from like an artistry standpoint, like these are the songs that I made with my vocals. These are songs I featured on that Change
versus
Culture.
Niggas push shit that they write out.
Yeah, but writing and actually producing a beat are two different things. Like if I write down and like you can even break it down just from a business, my publishing versus my production. Yeah. So I'm saying like in terms of like this is what I wrote and this is my song. Yes, this versus I created and conceptualized and constructed this beat. That's two different conversations in music. So I'm looking at like this is my song, this is my verse, this is like my verse on it, or this is a feature I'm on that I rapped on.
Okay.
If I'm doing that just off of the bodies of music that's been created from that. Who you going with? That's a tough one. And I'm saying that before I even think about it.
I'm trying to like, bro, I'm a Drake stan. So like, I'm looking at it from like that perspective, but trying to be objective because I know Ye like probably like
college
came
dropout,
out,
graduation.
I think it was competing
Life
with
of
50
Pablo.
Cent, man.
You know what I mean? Like just think about the project I'm saying. Bound, the record Bound, Yeezus. I didn't listen to like a lot of his like the ones in between like Yeezus. I didn't listen to a couple of those, but like, you know.
Nah, they got him, bro. I don't know, cause then
808 and Heartbreaks.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Love Lockdown's like one of my favorite like
Coldest Winter's my shit,
bro. Oh my god, it's hard. The thing about Drake though, right, is if you want to go left with Drake, you can go left.
Drake is really
like
that nigga. Let's not
go put a bachata on, bro.
He'll have a record for it.
You can put like Afrobeat.
He'll have a record for it.
He got a Caribbean tracks, bro.
I better find your love it. When I heard that shit, I'm like, man, this nigga Drake is unstoppable. Who made this nigga?
I mean, the dude he got fucking the house music. The dude,
pussy is calling my name. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
baby, and stop playing games.
So I can't put I would have to really sit down and go through it and be like, all right, what 20? You might not even be able to hold them to 20. Like you might have to let them go 30 and be like, okay, whoever
drops off first drops off, like type shit.
When Bound 2 comes, who plays it? Not Bound. Father Stretch My Hands. Who plays it?
No, really pal. Oh yeah, because then Drake write some of it. Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, who wrote verse? Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, we can leave that one. I feel like we need our own separate show for
this.
There's
a few like pop styles. Drake wrote his and it's solid shit. Like you're gonna forget. Like I was listening to what's the music playlist that he put out in 2017? You remember the name of it? Where he's dressed up as
all
his
the
father.
records on it. Yeah, all the records on it.
Bro, he was bringing out London artists at that time.
Yeah, he had gigs on there.
So I think Skepta was on that too.
You talk about the wasn't Scorpion.
It was a playlist.
It was that's the one with Madiba Rhythm on it.
Yes.
I'll look it up right now. Yeah, I know you're talking about
More Life.
Yeah, More Life.
Bro, you listen to that shit. If you really listen to it, he got some fucking like Passion Fruit. Portland, Teenage Fever, Fake Love, Ice Melts,
I mean, I feel like
Blam.
Blem was a big record, but I would say it's more like it's the records that people don't really talk about that need to be spoken about, like what's his Hotline Bling and all those commercial, the song with Rihanna that he has, like what's my name? It's when you look at just the commercial success, it's like, yeah, niggas is not
like what is Ye playing at work? Bro, it's and that crazy. Summer 16. Yo, yeah. KB, come closer. Help yourself the drama. Yeah, it's outside. But yeah, I'm my bias is kicking in. I want to say Drake because I'm gonna go ham, but you could make a very easy case for Kanye.
I feel like the only way that I feel like if Kanye flexes like his personality and I feel like it's gonna be one of them things that we'd have to see like legit them in the same environment, because I know a lot of people felt like that little benefit concert that they did for
no, that was gloves off, and we didn't even get to really see Drake's performance.
Yeah, you could tell because he only was really playing his new shit. He didn't really get in his old back.
Right.
Kanye played everything.
Yeah.
So, bro, we could talk forever, bro. We gonna have to figure out how to get you on show. So we gonna have to figure that out.
We're gonna chop it up. We can do a part 2, man. If anything.
Yeah, we were at 2 hours. This might have been the longest podcast I've ever done.
Yeah. Hey, man.
This is special.
This shit was fun, man. And there's so much we didn't get into that I feel like we could, talk about like the environment or the mindset of Staten Island and why it fucking goes to where it goes to.
Folks don't graduate and go nowhere.
Yeah.
Everyone here is a fucking city worker. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the level of the highest version of shit out here stops at the
sanitation.
You get me? You know what I mean? So it's like, if you and then you also got to think, when you get to a certain level in life, things that used to be valuable ain't valuable no more. Like, I'm chasing things that money can't buy. You know what I mean? So if everyone's status symbol is money and cars, and I'm not even concerned with that because I know the value of the things that I'm really pursuing, well, the conversations is not the same.
Well, my thing too is like, if you're hungry, I don't give a fuck about my happiness. I just want to be at homeostasis first. I want to be at even keel. And I feel like that's what a lot of niggas is dealing with, especially after 2020. Especially. Niggas was up and now they're down. But it's like, a drug addict. Like, when you were high, but you've crashed hard. You've passed the action potential and now you're on a deficit. And so, like, how do we get back to that? Like, we want to talk about our mental health. We want to like grow and get better and help our people out. But like, if I'm drowning in the ocean, like, when you're on the plane, they tell you to put your vest on first before helping people. Well, my vest don't fit and it got a tear in it. So that's what I'm looking at. And I think that's what a lot of people are going through. And like, that's like the mentality of Staten Island.
Yeah, I can see that, but I feel like no matter how successful you are, you're always gonna have conflict. There's always gonna be problems. There's always gonna be things that you're trying to, navigate through.
Definitely. But what I'm saying is, if you can't eat, you're not thinking about anything else. You know what I'm saying?
But I think my issue with that mentality is, it's like, it's one thing, like, we both African, right? And we both come from a place where like we know what suffering really be looking like. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of suffering. I'm not here to compare struggles, but we seen suffering, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of opportunities out here, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot, bro. It's just the fact that a lot of people don't want to tap into it because they don't look cool or don't look like it'll get them bitches, bro, or don't have designer tags on it. And I know the mentality is because of the things that they've been experienced to, as well as just like colonialism and the impact of slavery and redlining and just all these different things. So I'm not knocking the experiences of it, but I feel like at what point do we kind of get out of that?
Well, again, it goes back to like the London conversation we will have. It really takes for us to see somebody like us to pull each other up, but not people that are rappers or like musicians or basketball players, athletes, but people that look like us that we know from our neighborhoods. Just even making it like, look where we are right now. Right? Look where we are. If you go back 2 blocks, it's the P's. 1 block over is people that own their homes and building equity for their families. And it just takes you to help bring somebody up one level, to bring everybody up. And we're just not doing that. Like and I think where we're located, us being separated from the city, and then like there's really nothing here, so people just kind of get up and go, and so then forget people here, and we don't continue to move forward.
No, you're right about that too. I definitely agree. I think, I believe that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think we have to repair the systems. Obviously, are all completely outdated. There's no real economic growth here on Staten Island for people who don't have a certain level of degree or indoctrination skill set, etc., etc.
Even if you have a degree.
And even if you have a degree, yeah, the bag is off the island. You can't really make that money here. Then also, like I said, it's also the resources, like we spoke about, like resources. The politics is all the way jacked up. There's nobody really in a political position that really represents the best interest of the people that they're supposed to represent from the Democratic Party or from the side of the island of the people that they need the most.
Well, I mean, to answer that,
yeah,
bipartisanship, it gets so deep, man.
It gets deep. That's why I said, like, this is like a whole part two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can get.
But
into that.
if everybody want to tap in with you, get to know you more, where can they go? How can they do so?
I mean, I really just be like vibing, bro. Like I really just be vibing. If you want to talk to me, you can hit me up on Instagram, Ben BEN _ Sylla SYLLA _. You can tap on there. Same name on Twitter. I'm not really promoting anything. There ain't really nothing like that. I just be vibing, be listening to music, try to share my playlist with people that I love and fuck with, and just trying to move up, trying to study, a couple of things that I don't want to speak on publicly until they actually happen. But just as far as like just moving on academically, career wise, and get that stuff right, and then hopefully, as you see, my sister just calling me and try to just build our family to be on the next level.
Love that. All right, y'all, man. Y'all know the face. Y'all know the name. Like I said, thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode of Talk Ain't Cheap. And y'all know the slogan. It's not that deep. It's a vibe.
Appreciate you, man.
Always, my brother.